Welcome back to Hello Nigeria. It's time for us to go into your Have Your Say segment of Hello Nigeria. On Thursdays, we give you the opportunity to contribute and join in on topical issues bordering on national importance for discussion. A while ago on Trending Stories, we gave you the news of the Bus Conductors Association of Nigeria has said that members in Lagos State will start wearing uniforms from the 1st of January 2018. That's in a few weeks' time for security and effective service delivery. The big question to you this afternoon is, do you think wearing the uniform alone and wearing name tags will change their attitude and will make them act in more responsible manner? That's a big question. And how effective could this be? And we are also open to more suggestions on how conductors can do their work.
All right, the numbers to call will be on your TV screens. Please call us. This is Have Your Say, where you get to tell us what you think about a particular topic. Do you think that the uniforms for conductors is a good idea? Do you think it will regulate their behaviors?
Do you think it will bring sanity to the bus conducting industry?
All right, wow. Okay, please, we really can't wait to hear from you. Call us and let us know what you think.
I think the first thing is, I don't know if you guys already talked about the fact that it's even necessary. Should bus conductors wear uniforms? Is that the first thing that we should be dealing with? I think it would be great for us to even have that discussion. Holistic discussion, because
I mean, look at that.
It's happening from Thursday, apparently. Do you think, number one, it is necessary?
From this Thursday.
Number two, do you think that it is possible? 1st of January. 1st of January.
Okay.
But is it necessary? Do you think it is possible? Do you think we can achieve it? And then do you think it's just, cosmetic surgery?
Okay.
And
I agree in answering your question. I agree that it is cosmetic surgery. But for me, what it feels like is putting...
Do you think it's necessary? Should they do it?
I'll come back to that. Let me just answer bit by bit. Cosmetic surgery, because I feel like we're trying to change the packaging, but we're not really changing the content. What we're doing is putting an old wine in a new bottle. Now, an old wine in a new bottle has a way of giving it a good feel, giving it a good look. People come to Nigeria for the first time. I'm not seeing people shirtless and sweating. Oh, they're still going to sweat, by the way.
How many uniforms are they going to have?
That's another thing. So we need to ensure that are they getting more than one uniform? Because even in their singlets, they have a very pungent...
yeah, but the truth is that even when they don't have uniforms, they probably just have one T-shirt.
Exactly what I'm saying.
So hygiene is
we can't even guarantee that they will still look good and take care of their uniforms. At least those times they'll be shirtless. You won't even know.
Beyond the aesthetics and of it.
It doesn't really change
security,
everything.
It does.
The only way it changes it is if we are guaranteed that they would all wear it, they would all have their name tags, and if anyone misbehaves, we can always trace.
Exactly, that's why they say
their name tag.
They can exchange shirts. Somebody can wear somebody else's name tag. But
I don't think you people should be troubleshooting.
No, I was going to say I'm not troubled. I actually want to look at the positives. I think it's actually a good move. Yes. We have to start from inside, but there's something about packaging that gives you confidence. We talk about the fact that when you look good, you actually feel good about yourself. You carry yourself well. If you see some of these touts, when they're giving nice shirts and they sit, in a way, it's something psychological. They actually start to behave themselves.
All right, so let's take a pause on that example, Gbenga. We have a call from Hafiz.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Hafiz. Oh, so sorry, we lost that. Please call back. We'd like to hear what you have to say.
And please call us too if you're a conductor or if you've been in the business of conducting. We would like to.
And at one point in your life, because there's some people like the story reward. Some people started out in that way and then have progressed. I think it's a great move. I love what the government is doing to Lagos State, to the parks. I cannot wait for the park at Oshodi to be completed. I think it will be so wonderful. And then.
I want to say something, and I'm happy that you mentioned earlier that it shouldn't be just about the uniform. We should look at the holistic things. Human beings should not. I mean, there's no country in the Western world that will allow human beings to be transported the way they are in those buses. Those buses need to go. We need better buses.
I was going to say that.
No, not even death traps. Like, how do you squeeze 4 people?
Exactly.
And then there's an extra chair they put by the window, and then they hang on the bus.
Fumes, some of this. Buses shouldn't be roadworthy because the air pollution, the combustion that comes out of it, it's really, really terrible.
So for me, it would be not just changing the uniforms,
change the buses.
Change the buses,
Well, they wanted to
do that.
If you do remember, there was a point in time in Lagos State where we had the Bolekajas, then the Molues, the massive Molues. They're not there anymore. People will say, oh, you're going to take jobs away from people and all of that.
People would always oppose change at first.
Change is constant in life, and we need to embrace positive change. And
would you ever have believed that Nigerians can queue up in a single file, get tickets to board a bus in this Nigeria?
In Lagos.
You know, with the BRT buses, we've seen improvements.
They have BRT lanes.
And look at the terminal that they're building in Ocean. It's going to be world class.
I would say that, for me, changing their uniform, it's not a bad idea, but it's not enough. We still need to do more because these people are used to living life in a certain way. They're used to, we still haven't made them see why picking customers while driving is wrong.
They need a total attitudinal change, not just the uniform.
And they need to see that there's punishment for everything.
I didn't know they had an association. What's their association for? Is it just for elections and being used for political?
On the one hand, on the other hand, if you maltreat any one of them, they would all gang up.
So they should be discussing these issues, and the drivers too, because it's not the conductors. People often point the wrong fingers at the conductors, maybe because they're very visible. It's the drivers that actually are the problems. They're the ones that are controlling the vehicle. They're the ones that park.
And it's not well regulated because sometimes a driver just sees a young boy and says, like, you go, follow me.
Who takes instruction from, because the conductor hits the bus and it says, there's a passenger here.
The conductor actually takes orders from the driver, but we'll continue on that. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. How are you all doing?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
Fine. The topic you guys are talking about is a very, very good topic, I must say. Especially if you live around where I stay. The key to ask is the conductors there are wonderful. Say nothing less anyway. I think Lagos State should just scrap all those buses and bring in more BRT buses into place. And another thing is they should spread the Lagos State government should try and spread out the bus stops generally, so we could have more bus stops and people could queue more and get more buses, because the more reason why people enter those buses is because you could just stop them anywhere, flag them anywhere, and they come down. That's just my opinion, basically.
Very true. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yeah.
Very, very valid, suggestion. We need to have more of this.
That's actually a good thought. That perhaps we should be looking at scrapping the mini buses, the downfall buses, and just have, because in so many countries.
I mean, in Cardiff, I don't think you have mini buses.
No, even in Dubai,
in many countries around the world.
We only have the downfall buses. The mini buses are usually for private hire, and they're usually the ones with AC, air conditioned, and all that.
And haven't you noticed that when you're in Nigeria, you can't enter buses? You're feeling certain people. I'm sure most of you can't remember when last you entered the bus, but when you go abroad, it's very convenient.
I mean, it's convenient.
In fact, you want to do selfies in their bus because their buses are AC tight, very neat. You can't chew gum in the bus. You can't eat in the bus. So you're not expecting one woman that is, coming there with her child and feeding him or father rice to
but the
start
BRT
doing that in the
buses are
buses.
quite decent.
Yes, the BRT buses. Yes, we're getting there. So the baby steps would be, first of all, scrap the mini buses. Give people time. I would say give them time and tell them in 3 months we'll be scrapping the mini buses. So give people time to be able to.
3 months is short. But
I'm just saying, for example, giving them a time frame. Exactly. And then increasing the bus stops, the BRT bus stops, so that people know that once you come out of your house, it's easily accessible. So you don't have to crew, and then that would actually
and Nigeria is the only country, though. I don't think there's any place in the world, any city where you have 20 million people and most of the inhabitants commute by road. We have waterways, they're hardly utilized, and we don't have a tram or train system. It's negligible. You can't get on those buses, on those trains.
Exactly. And if we actually reduce, if we actually build up our public transport system, you would see that less people would drive. when we have less cars on the roads, our roads will last longer, would reduce the effects of climate change because there are not 100 people on the road.
Yeah, because look at a family, a household of 4 people, and everybody drives out.
If I traveled, if I traveled abroad and wanted to go out in my family, the whole family would go, if it's a distance, we would go via the public transport system because it's comfortable. You know, you don't have to feel like, oh, by the time I come out, I'm sweating. Everything is comfortable.
And then people walk.
And then less people, but now you're going out to your whole family, everybody, you are doing convoy.
I mean, if you were in London, if you're going to a hotel, you will walk.
I would walk, yes.
Yeah, but
or ride a cycle, a bike.
The sidewalks is more convenient. There's sightseeing, there are cafes, so you won't even feel that you're walking, and it's healthy. Nigerians don't walk. Nigerians look at people that walk as they're suffering.
The truth is that we go to these countries and we do these things, although, to be fair, one of the deterrents to walking is our weather as well. The sun is scorching.
And why is the sun scorching? Because little things like all of us driving cars and doing convoy is contributing to emitting greenhouse gases. You know, we have a call. We'll come back to having that conversation. Good afternoon, Hafiz.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back.
My suggestion on this topic is that maybe you just need to educate those people on this road, those people in charge of this road. We just need to educate them. Eradicating them is not the problem. Because if we eradicate them now, what are we to give them? What are we give them to do?
Okay, Hafiz, can I come in here? Sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask you a question? We have LASMA, there's law enforcement, and then don't you think the fines these people pay, their cars have been impounded, is that not enough education for them? Why do we have to stop everything we're doing to specially educate them? They know what is right from what is wrong, but they keep doing it.
Hello?
Hello?
All right, I think we lost.
Oh, I think we lost.
Yeah, because, I mean...
To be honest, though, I quite agree with
right
Hafiz, because if we do scrap them, what we're having on our hands is a nuisance. We'd have lots of unemployed people. Our crime rates would increase.
But if we scrap them and introduce more buses, that's more providing jobs
I'm not saying exactly. I'm not saying we should. His thinking was talking about scrapping them totally and getting fresh people. So we are not in support of scrapping them totally.
They will be eased into the new bus system, and they would undergo some form of...
It was the same thing a lot of people fought strongly when they started banning motorcycles from federal highways. Initially, people thought it's absolutely impossible. In fact, I was a serious biker. I could take a bike from... It's just I've never applied the 10 mainland bridge with a bike, but if it was possible, I'm sure I would be one of the people that tried it. I just didn't think it was possible. No, I don't like sitting in traffic. So if I can see a bike that would help me, rather than sitting in traffic for 30 minutes, I can get there in 10 minutes. I used to travel in Delta State, I travel from one place in Delta State to another with a bike. You know, I'm one of those people. I just hate sitting in traffic. But the truth is, we thought it was going to be impossible to do. Bikes were causing a lot of accidents. Even in my state, I have some scars from bike accidents. I had a bike accident in 2007. I've been hit, but a bike has slammed me across another vehicle. But I did not stop taking bikes because I just hated sitting in traffic. But we thought it was impossible. And look at it. When last did you see a bike, really? We see them, but not as much.
Come to Aja.
Okay, but
it depends on what part
of Lagos State you're in.
But they're not like federal roads, Ayo. In Aja, it's safer because they are going inside Aja.
It's actually worse because on federal roads, it's only vehicles.
On major roads.
On major roads.
On major roads, the problem is they are struggling for space with buses.
In smaller streets, in narrow streets, it's even worse. So at any point in time, you can hit one because one is just coming to swerve, and you see a lot more incidences of them falling.
If we're even going to do it, like due to the prevailing circumstances in our country, or unemployment and all of that, if you're going to have people ride a bike as a motorcycle, it's done in Thailand, it's done in Republic of Benin. They have dedicated lanes, and then they have safety equipment.
And then they have to obey traffic signs as well.
Yeah, they have reflective jackets and helmets, but here it's just...
They don't obey traffic signs. They don't listen. They don't know how to drive. Some of them don't know what it means to drive, or they feel that because it's just a small vehicle, forgetting that you share the road with other commuters as well.
Very true indeed. Let's take a call from Vincent. Good afternoon, Vincent.
I actually thought it was 50 Cent. Hi, Vincent.
Hi, Vincent.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, this is Vincent from Ikoto.
Hello.
You're welcome.
My people all the way from Ikoto. Thanks for calling.
That's
so what's your...
That's notorious for bus.
I'm really excited for this issue that you people are saying.
All right. Please go ahead.
But I don't think that will favor most of people in this Lagos. Because
like this BRT that they just brought, like, when you go to area like Ikorodu, it's a very big problem in that area. When you are trying to come from Ikorodu to either Night 12 or whatsoever that you want to go, you will sometimes you will stay for queue more than 1 hour. You will not see buses. So I don't think that it will favor most of people in this Lagos. That is my opinion. Because their bus stops, they are not many, and the bus, they are not many.
All right.
And when you look at the population of bus where they this Lagos, I don't think that government can afford such buses in this, especially this Lagos.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. We have another call from Onyeka. Let's hear what Onyeka has to say. Onyeka, are you Onyeka Valentine?
Hi, Onyeka. Hello.
Oh, hopefully.
Okay, I think we lost Onyeka. Interesting point there from Vincent. And I hope the regulators and the authorities are taking note and taking feedback as to provide more buses. Yes. Yes,
indeed. Now, apart from more buses, we have to make our roads more tolerable for BRT buses. We're going to look towards that. Because I know that because of the size of those buses, it can, like he rightly mentioned, there's some streets that are not wide enough. And I know that in some cases, when they want to do things like that, they have to widen the streets. Yeah. It's a capital-intensive project, but in the long run, it would pay the Nigerian people a lot more.
That's why we're asking you to pay your tax. Yes. Be responsible and pay your taxes.
Very true. But I must really applaud Lagos State. Lagos State is really setting the pace in a lot of areas. You know, they're setting the pace and making laws and making rules that would help proper transportation. I don't know if it's this bad, though, the transportation system, if it's this bad in other states. Because I know in Delta State, we don't really have as much mini buses. People focus more on taxis.
I mean, you're talking of a mega city. If you look at the population of Lagos, you can't compare with, and the closest to Lagos will be Ibadan or Kano State. Yeah.
Well, the northern states, but there a lot. And another thing with other countries, I think of countries like America, that you know the issue of having bus stops, enough bus stops. Because I think because we don't have bus stops in inner streets, and sometimes you live inside, and you have to walk out. They actually don't make provisions for that. But in these countries, life is easier, so a number of them can afford cars, apart from tricycles. Because not everyone can.
Oh, yes.
None of them can afford cars. So, for instance, they tell you that if you go to America and you want to visit, it is advisable for you to, if you don't drive in America, that's why the driving age is 16. But it is done in such a way that almost everyone can afford a car, and that should be what our city, quality of life. Cars shouldn't be luxury.
It's all part of urban planning.
Yeah. All right, we'll quickly wrap up on that, but let's take our very final call. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
This is James.
Oh, thank you for calling.
What I want to say is that
this is James.
If they try to introduce that law, you will see that most people will find it difficult to transport themselves to their various locations.
Because of uniform?
No, they will increase the transport fares. You understand?
Okay, sorry, you say people find it difficult to transport themselves to their location?
Yes, it's immediate to increase the transport fares. You know, this Lagos State, any opportunity opportunity given to them is an avenue to make money.
Would you suggest we continue the way
I think there's a previous person that said that they should be more, they should be educated more.
Okay.
You understand? If something can be done on that issue.
Okay, then are you in support of conductors wearing uniforms from the 1st of January?
I'm not in support of that, actually.
Why?
I don't prefer it. As I just said now, they're introducing that uniform. We make that the drivers or the conductors, I think they need to pay to the law, what they call them.
Hello?
I think she's...
uniform, is it not?
Well, that's something we need to find out, if who bears the cost of these new uniforms, because the point you're making is quite valid. It's just, and again, that's what we talk about, information management. Yes, the transfer cost to the consumers. But don't you think, would you be willing to pay a little bit extra to just see them look good on,
We're tired.
It's good for them to look good, but they should consider the masses too.
Very
true.
You
understand? It's good to look good, but let them consider the masses in the aspects of the fees. Okay. The transport fares. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Mrs. James.
I do not think that the cost will be borne by the conductors themselves. I think that the government actually might be the
I don't think it's a private. I mean, it's a private initiative. You can just give them colors. Yeah, this is what the uniform
because it's a very valid point.
Go buy your fabric and
no, they won't.
So
they will sell.
It should be the owners
I think
of the
this is very valid.
They make it compulsory for them to pay. They might make it as cheap as possible because, to be honest, if something is vital for you to operate a vehicle, you have to pay. It's like a levy. You have to pay.
Going with the government is even too far. Let's look at the touts, the Agboros. They have all these stickers that they put on the vehicles, and if you don't buy the sticker, they will hang on to your bus. You will not drive. You won't go anywhere, and they will cost a sin. So yes, that's a very valid point.
So we still have a long way to go.
We need to find out who's bearing the cost. How does it adversely?
How much is the shirt? And what would
exactly?
It cannot hugely impact
so how much do you
transport. Think? Let's assume it's 2,000 now for...
But these people are going to find a way to make their money at all costs. Like she said,
no, I think it's negligible.
It's negligible.
I don't think
you can't pay 2,000 naira because of that increased fare.
Do they want to be naked in the first place?
They're going to buy clothes. For me, and that's what I'm saying about awareness. For concerns like that, it is good for them to debunk it, that if they're asking them to pay 2,000 naira for a year, or as long as you want to wear your shirt for, like Benga mentioned, won't you buy clothes?
Some of them don't really want to buy clothes.
No, it's like wearing clothes.
But these are valid concerns that the citizens of Nigeria have. We want to know who bears the cost of these uniforms, how effective will these uniforms be when the conductors, have misbehave, when they misbehave, if they do misbehave, how are we sure that when we report, because we have their name tags, that adequate sanctions will be meted out? And if they have to bear the cost of the uniforms, does it adversely affect the everyday average Nigerian citizen? These are the questions that people have. These are the questions I want to hear and find out answers to. We're going on a very quick break. We'll leave you with the hands of Peter, I Am Your Soldier, my producer's favorite song.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.